Couch. Kush and Couch Show. Kush and Couch Show. It's the Kush and Couch Show.
Brother.
Man, see it? I mean, man, we back outside again. You don't know how the thing's set.
Yes, sir.
We give thanks to life. We give thanks to the gathering. Today we have a blessed day.
Yeah, honor.
You see it? An honorful day, Dan. You see it? Because we have a bedroom here with we who I personally just give thanks to see the IOS. You see it? Because life over everything.
Yes,
My brother Buzzrock, pick up yourself, you know. You see it?
Yeah, man. Glad to be among the numbers, you know.
Oh, yeah, me and
Kush
man.
and Couch, you know.
Yeah.
There's a deep-seated reasoning we're going to have here now. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yes, sire.
Man, Rastafari.
So we give thanks to being here, Bedrin. It's our honor to sit down with the eye, to hold a mystical conversation with the eye.
Yes, sir.
Because from the ones we do off our camera, I know the eye deep.
Yes, sir.
You understand? I know the eye have enough reasoning. And I think, especially in this dispensation here, where the youths and them in really have nothing to latch on to. I feel like the eye sips and the eye words could be a good meditation for them to, you know?
Good ointment for the soul.
Yeah, good ointment for the soul, you know? So it's a pleasure to have the eye here.
I glory in that far, right, you know what I mean? Because even I, man, needed that ointment. And it had ones there for I to draw to, you know? Even it had that other thing, it had the poisonous thing I go and still.
See it.
Just like right now, you know, it just reach a different
Levels.
heights, a different level for these youths here now. They have to have a certain type of potency, even in I reasoning, to combat the meditation, what they're forcing, programming the youths. We have to bring it potent. We can't really beat around the bush and
For real.
parables and thing, you know.
Yeah, because the time is near.
Yes, sir.
The time of judgment is near. So we have to keep it 100 and be 100 about the thing.
Yes,
Like
sir.
Kush and Couch, yeah, we just kick back, we just spark up, and we
Yes,
just
sir.
hold our reasoning. So you see it?
Normal, that is normal. Normal meditation.
Yeah, blaze up this thing.
Yeah, because herb is a meditation, you know. That's the breathing part of it, you know. Puffing,
Just
taking
the-
a deep,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a breatharian science within, you know. Breathing does unlock different potentialities of the mind, you know, to help the mind, you know, unlock certain parts to really function, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a meditation to take a draw still, you know, even to add in the herb. It's a
To make
deeper.
it's a deeper
Come
meditation
on,
still.
you know what I mean, to access the fullness of the brain's potential, the mind potential. Stuff, all right.
So we go start by just allowing the eye to give a brief insight into who is the eye, so that those that looking in, because we have a great international audience as well,
Yeah, man.
and for those that looking in, you know, you could get them a little sips on who is Buzzrock.
Yes, sir. Like, man, originate in Trinidad, you know, went abroad, spent some time, come forward, you know, and really start to dedicate my life to music, you know. Trinidad know I, man, as Buzzrock, you know.
See it?
You know, the lead singer of Buzzrock is really a band, you know. But I, man, as a producer / songwriter, instrumentalist, you know, I, man, still keep the nucleus of the energy of the band, you know.
Yeah.
So I, man, is known as like a chief musician, I would
Yes,
say.
sir,
Not
for
sure.
shooting no horn, but
Nah.
ones know I as a chief musician, guitar man, bass man, you know, production man who in Trinidad dealing with, you know, cultural reggae foundation, you know. I never really, I do other things to pay the bills musically, but mainly my thing is Buzzrock, and ones know I for that kind of, you know, roots reggae music vibe.
You know, you say that reggae is where your love lies.
Yes, sir.
Why reggae? Because you say you do other genres to pay the bills,
Yeah,
and I'm sure at certain times they probably pay the bills more than the reggae might have pay.
no lie.
You see it?
No lie, but I would even say, I don't box it in to call it reggae, but I would call it revolutionary music. Why revolutionary music? Because I feel like certain things important to be said, you know. You know, it have enough love you, baby. It have enough this and that
Yeah.
in music.
Yeah, yes,
you
I.
know.
Yes, I.
It have enough problems. People sing about problems, the blues, you know.
Yeah.
People sing, and which is no wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I see that, you know, the reality of somebody need to be singing about the mystical vibration. Somebody need to be singing about the Most High. Somebody need to express the sciences of unlocking the potentials of a black man. So So man just need to express
bring that
themselves.
frequency.
Yeah, revolutionary music is a must, like, you know. And I think that is where different genres just be created, because the revolutionary ones just be so passionate about the feel of the music and the feel of the word sound power, that they just hit it so hard that it just end up a genre like how reggae come. You know what I mean? Certain passionate revolutionary musicians stamp that feeling to the vibes.
And it become that.
They start, they call it reggae, or they call it calypso, kaiso, you know what I mean? But it's really commentary on the situations man existing in, from that perspective of, you know, a black Caribbean man treading through this giddy and this dispensation, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think revolutionary music, I commit to that because, you know, like the I say, to be our ointment for the souls of the youth and the souls of, and even for I having that ointment to heal I man from different things, you know.
That they might
up in
face
life.
daily.
Yeah, in life
dig
as a
that.
youth, you know.
I dig that. I go on to, because the way, I know a long time, boss.
Yes.
Yeah, and the way we just reason, you know, and we never really talk about like childhood and
Yes,
them
sir.
things, because I feel like we didn't know each other from the first moment.
Yes,
no?
sir.
But sitting down, and I think people might want to know what lead you to this point to reach to be a soldier in your army now, you know what I mean? What shape your thinking?
Yeah, well, it's my surroundings, you know, because here what? We just wear clothes and we just go somewhere. We environment is part of we makeup, is part of we what we just wear.
Same.
See it.
So my environment balling into coming into a revolutionary house from a mom who was in Black Power from the times I born in 79. So Trinidad had a kind of energy in them time. My father was a musician too, playing bass on enough albums, you know, Andy Phillips, you know.
Yeah.
Big him up.
Big him up.
Enough
Same here,
respect,
I mean, man.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Who play enough thing with Andre Tanka, with Shorty I, with Nappy Myers. So while I was conceived, he was playing bass in between. So naturally, I would say that, you know, it have a genetic memory banks kicking in.
Kicking in from
do music.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean? But in the life, you know, as a youth, I would say you just go a distance, because vibration, it come like a wave, right? Just have a middle point that is zero.
Yeah.
And the wave is how far
So I saw
the
all those.
spiral go
Yeah.
around zero.
Yeah.
Right? So as a youth, I make a distance away from what we go call the 0 point is the creator.
Right.
You understand? The irata, the originator, according to African spirituality.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I make a distance away from it. As a youth treading in the life, I get lost in a Babylon. It's Miami, I was enough temptation.
See it.
You know, but through the powers of the Most High, Jah does have a way he just take I and, when I say my God self, the creator, the Most High, have a way he's take I and put I in the way that I need to be.
To be.
You understand? To really become who I is to really become.
See it.
And not even for I, you know, for I youths, for the I them, you know what I mean? Because I have some experiences where that I don't even really think life is for the person
Yeah.
in that kind of personal way. Life is really a relative thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just share that, you know what I mean? People just give I
collective.
that, and I just give,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Energy, you know what I mean?
Dig.
That's the part, right?
Yeah, man.
And
I hope I answered the I question.
Yeah, man.
too,
Yeah.
man.
Because I really see it important to acknowledge, because enough people will say people self-taught. To me, it have no such thing, because we just learn from the environment, from just looking as a child. Nobody in teaching you and put you in no classroom to sit down behind no desk.
Yeah.
But life itself
Yeah.
is a learning, so you will learn by observing. And who you learn that from? You learn that from observing.
yeah.
You
From
understand?
experiences
From
and
experiences.
yeah.
So I would say that I have to glory in everybody who come in contact with I.
We could have helped shape and mold the eye
That's
to who the
the
eye
part,
is supposed to
yes,
be.
sir.
I dig it.
Yes, I and see how the I know me a long time too.
Yeah.
You have a hand to play in that too.
And just the other day we were saying that you know, the collective is where the purpose lies now, you know. Everybody had their own individual solo mission to go on, you know, to do one thing to do. But the collective is what is really make it worth doing now. Boy.
Rastafari.
You see it? And coming up from the youth days and thing, and first coming into music, first sighting the passion, feeling the vibes, what that journey was like.
Yo, like I say, I leave Trini when I was 6, right? Let me be specific. I come forward when I was now going on 18, right? So, up inside of that, I know singing as a certain thing in Uncle Sam, they we go call it, you know what I mean, the United Snakes.
Yeah.
I know it as like, for me, it was a little effeminate in them time.
See.
Jodeci, Boys to Men, and this.
Right, it was a kind of,
real
them was the
singers,
days of
but
the R&B
them men
kind of
didn't-
vibe.
Yeah,
That
them men didn't strike me
as masculine.
as, feeling manly hearing them men, you know. Like my sister and different ones used to listen to them, but that wasn't a man thing. You know, it's only coming forward to Trinidad when I really started getting to hearing man like Dennis Brown, you know, man like Hugh Mondell, Gregory Isaac, and I started to say, yo, singing is actually, it could be expressed as a masculine thing then, because I was thinking like rap.
You're right.
And chanting was masculine.
You're right.
And singing was fair. It's a paradigm that's put you in sometimes.
I definitely understand what you're saying.
But then now, after that, just singing along with Dennis Brown, singing along with them tunes would make me realize, hey, come on, Natty. Yeah, it sound like that, you know?
Yeah, I have
And
a
I
vibe.
always had a, like I say, you know, I come from a musician, I'm born,
Yeah.
my father is blood, and all his brothers. Mikey Phillips is the captain of Phase 2 for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who passed away, Jah rest him in power. And even my father, who is a founding member of Phase 2, so it's in my blood. So I literally like tell Bridgens, yo, we go pull a little guitar. And I think something, man, I ain't go call no names, but it was like that. Yeah, you got to start to do that from young, you know. You can't pick up that at 19, 20, you know.
See.
And I was like, nah, dada.
Yeah.
And you could even ask them brothers, you know what I mean? Say Blacks is one.
Yeah.
All he names that I'm
Yeah. Big up brand man, I mean, man.
I love him
Big up the
too.
Solid Rock family and
We had to
there.
have a reason with 4
Yes,
and,
I.
you know
Yes,
what I
I.
mean? But yeah, inside of that, it was like a month. Because we had a little zone in Curep there, we used to call it repatriation. It's a little pad just like the idea them set up with music and everything.
Yeah.
We used to hold our vibes on the weekend, but for like a month they didn't come up, check Iman, that was Iman Gates. And the next month when they come up, it's because Iman have a guitar they strumming, singing a human for them, holding our vibes with them, and I say, wait now. Chama.
Yeah. The
they-
guy go on and learn.
Yeah,
They know
because
it in the DNA.
little did I know, like the environment was say where you just wear when you go where you
Yeah.
go and you wear your clothes is that my neighbor was a man named Mwanza who played with what's his name? Kali and all these bands from back in the days. That was an ex-C name, I can't remember. I didn't want to diss it. But yeah, he was my neighbor, he was an electrician. He see a man passing with a guitar and like, yo, yeah, I do. And that relationship built, so from there he just, gave me certain chords, but then again I just play guitar upside down. I just play a right hand guitar, left handed. So he was like, yo, I can't teach you like that. I just said, you play, man, I go watch you. And the more he plays, the more I learn. So I just take the guitar and flip it on.
So what was the steps for turning the guitar that way?
Yeah, when I was 17, yeah, I ended up in a little scene and I ended up getting shot 4 times, right?
So yeah.
One was in this hand, right?
Yeah.
So that would say it would come like a negative experience, yes.
But it bring out for a positive.
So while, it has been mad at certain experiences you have for a time, but then when you see where that bring you,
And where it shape you into.
So yeah, that make me can't use the fret up here because these 2 fingers,
Right.
not function.
Natural.
So I had to turn it like this because this hand could function. I get it in this hand too. This hand more functional. So when I turn it like that, I unlock something. It have a man named Eric Gales. It have a couple other Otis Rush.
Yeah.
It have about 4 other people I know in the world play upside down. Well, they call it upside down, I call it right side up. Play right side up.
Yes,
So, yeah, big large up my brother, Otis Rush, because I think he was the man who probably from the latest in the
Pioneers,
60s, like he's really started. But I wasn't exposed to them and to know that it was possible. But still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tried and it worked.
That show, it take any kind of determination or anything, or you just say, well, I can't play this way, I'm gonna try the next way.
Nah, I think that I didn't, for the youthness of approaching something, sometimes you doesn't know how hard, or you don't think of the hardness in it. Because I was young. So I tell myself, oh,
You're just determined to get it
yeah,
done.
I will do it. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing how hard it is. It's only after I realize what I do. And I realize like when a next man hold the guitar, he can't really do it.
Okay.
Because he didn't learn it that way.
Yeah.
So then it becomes something like, hey, you're really doing something here. But
Something unique.
still, it's not that big of a deal for me. For me, is what I hear coming out of the guitar. Was that correct? That was my barometer. That was my goal. Then I set for myself.
Once you get a unique song,
Hearing
you'll get
the sound, if I could achieve it, you know what I mean, we move on to the next. But I think we need to approach life with that kind of, and we don't need to tell with children, hey, life gonna be hard and things hard and everything hard. Nah, because if you do approach it with that perspective, it don't have to be like that.
It's better you teach them to solve problems.
Exactly.
Better you turn them into good problem solvers.
Yeah.
You see
agree.
it? And you disable them because I come like you're turning them into giving them a disability. You see it? You're holding them back from being the true self.
It's like,
Because if we still go into the sips, now, we can't dance wrong, but today I'm in a kind of mood, boy, better.
let me go in, man.
Right? Today I'm in a kind of mood because as reason we got here earlier on, and as a man side Rastafari different in the sense that I believe in the principles. I believe that the naked must be clothed, the shelterless must be given shelter, and the hungry must be fed. You see it?
The
And
age be taken care of.
Likewise, you see it? And I find like within the culture now, the thing stray so far from that, it going into a party vibes now. I dress up and look nice and come and listen to a Rasta song, and you feel like you're giving something to Rastafari, or you're walking the... What's your take on that? What's your take on the state of Rastafari from the eye perspective?
Yo, that is a deep one, you know. We got to have a show titled that.
Yeah.
And then we going on that, but sum it up. You know? I ain't go and chant down the woes
Right.
all the while.
Right.
But there are some areas that we leave unattended, you know, in life, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, man, Rastafari is well on the way to becoming what it was to become when it's set in motion by the founding ones, you know, and even by the king to stretch out and to help I and I in the West to find I and I self as a
Right.
black man, you know. But up inside of this finding yourself, it have like, we have to acknowledge certain fundamental truths, like we speak in English, we is a colony of the West, of the British,
Right.
the brutish, let's call them, but we what people understand. So inside of that, it have layers that we're going to have to really either be humble enough to accept that here what we're learning, or to be diligent and studious enough to learn and to apply something in an area. You know, give thanks Rastafari. We was the ones who tell them about spring, you know, and tell them bathe in the spring. We're the ones who tell them about ital. You know,
Now everybody vegan.
We're the ones who tell them about the powers of nature. And we the one who walk barefoot when they used to laugh at it. Now they have a thing called grounding.
Grounding. Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
We is the ones who bear the load. We bear the load of marijuana. being
for
looked
years.
at as taboo. And we defend it. And now it's medicine.
It's everywhere.
You know what I mean? It's in the drugstore.
Yeah.
Right? So, as Rasta, I wouldn't talk like if we lost or we,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
But we have some areas that we need to address. You know what I mean? Especially for the youths coming in this 2025. Them don't want no set what to say. Them don't want no spookism.
Yeah. Come
Them want-
straight.
Yeah, them want the facts, potent truth. They could apply it and see it work.
Yeah.
Tell them mind over matter.
Yeah.
Tell them the reality of the potential is what they really is as a man think it.
Yeah.
Give them these opportunities, these books, these things to learn from, these examples.
Yeah.
You understand? To learn from. So as Rasta, you know what I mean? I give thanks to be among the numbers, especially of the ones who guided to be more black and Afrocentric, you
Right.
know?
Right.
More concerned with African spirituality, because that is why I am. Can't expect where you want me to study. I must study who I am.
Right.
Know yourself, know
Yeah.
thyself. You know what I mean? All the ancient teachings say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to know myself is to be Rasta, natural. We're the ones who even show them about Natty and the importance of your hair being a seventh sense, then to sense subtle
Yeah.
changes in
Yeah.
the atmosphere and the
Antennas.
vibration around you.
Yeah.
We was the men who pioneer. We was, and when I say we, 'cause I was
collective.
not alive in them times.
Yeah, the collective, yeah.
But I was alive within the spirit of them man what ride with me.
Yeah.
So we, from creation, defend it a certain way. So in this time, is no wars and no disrespect to Rastafari. You know?
Yeah.
I would say that being a colony of the West and this brutish system, we have to be careful to not be adopting things
the
that is
customs.
not really African spirituality, that is not really Rastafari.
That is not a Rastafari.
And there's why when I started, when you say I is a certain type of Rasta, there is a beauty in that, you know, because it have no structure in the sense of outside of you saying what Rasta have to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
For it to become a religion.
Right.
And it's not even that, it's not standardized in the West as a religion. They would call it actually a cult, you know.
Yeah. They will kick out
Like the
just as a
correct-
Because
Definition,
it's
yeah.
not established and it's not recognized by the brutish as a faith, as a way of life. Which I rather be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really need them labels and them papers.
Stamp of approval.
I don't need that. For me, that actually is a step back.
turning into a more religious structure.
Yeah, so for that, I think that once we're careful enough to make sure we're not adopting foreign customs into the blackness, I think is the best thing. Along with even, Islam
Yeah.
being one of the things in the 70s and in the time when black man needed was like a
beacon.
light
Yeah.
to bring we forward to Africa to be concerned.
To
But
bring-
then again, that and all is a colonial instrument that was placed in Africa from the Arabs, the Islam. So even that, you have to be careful. So the true African spirituality come from within the eye,
Yeah.
within I and I.
Yeah.
Anytime we have to go outside to get validated by anything outside ourselves, that is when it go. We had to be, them areas is the gray areas where we had to probably just leave it. So
Stay away
stay
from, man.
from that.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's on ourselves.
Look within.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Some of them answers had to be long-winded and, you know what I mean?
Nah, it's a reasoning. So
Yeah.
the reasoning does go, man. What
Because-
you mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
As fast and as how we living now with a set of song bites and they cut up on it, just bam, 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 which is good too. You know what I mean?
But sometimes you need to get the full
Yeah.
message out now, the true context now, the full
Exactly.
context. Yeah. It
like
makes
when you
sense.
walk where you're going, you just have a more memory of the way as opposed to drive.
That's for sure.
You understand? The speed you're traveling at is how much you could absorb from your surroundings. So sometimes in the reasoning we have to travel at a little lighter, slower speed so that you know, we could really take in the fullness of what we say to one another.
Definitely.
I have a little culture question to throw at you.
Come on.
Right?
I prefer
So some random a coach question is just a random question. We just try the guess
Yes, sir.
see how the vibes the thing.
Yeah, man.
Where's the I take on aliens?
Yeah, man.
Because we sip a little episode
These
already.
questions I like.
Yeah, we sip a little episode already and we touch upon that. And I really like to get the eye take on first to begin, what is the eye perception of an alien? And do the eye think aliens exist?
Let me deal with the meaning first.
Seen.
Extra
Terrestrial.
Yeah.
Right? Terrestrial. This is not from Earth.
Yeah.
That's all this means. Right? When we look to the heavens, when we look above, there's a lot of things going on. There's a whole cosmos out there. There's things coming, there's things going. We send out our energy coming in, rays from the sun, rays from the moon, controlling tides in the planet. Yo, out there and here, totally interrelated, connected.
Must be.
Right? For me, just seeing light out there is life. You understand? I think the earth alive. The earth have awareness, it's a preference. It's just like if you put something in it where you don't want it to push it out.
Mood swings, it are
everything.
Yeah, it's alive.
These planets, what we see in these lights, for lack of, I don't want to fight to say what it is, because we in the West here, is a kind of Nelly Fuller height. Nelly Fuller is a man, sure, if we as black man speak in English, we don't need to fight with certain things, because it have a layer that we have to overcome.
First.
We have to start to learn other languages to understand, because in our language is a culture, you know.
Yes,
You understand?
In a language,
and in
lies
a
a
culture is a perspective, is a paradigm.
Yeah.
You understand? I have a virgin who tried Germany. You understand?
Yeah.
He understanding that language does contribute to your paradigm, that does make you either more humble, more aggressive. Is everything set in the language is a culture. You understand? So for us to really understand and trust the elders giving us knowledge, I say we had to come out of English and start to deal with some of our ancestral languages to really stand on facts.
Right.
You understand? If you're in a colony in the West, so I will deal with it, the fact that when you look up, you're seeing lights, you're seeing planets. We know this is, I now look through a telescope for myself.
Right.
So I could tell you, when you look up close to these things is not just light alone.
Yeah.
It's actually up. You could see it like planet Earth, but it's different. You understand? So in that light, them things are alive and them things have awareness. Even if I can't see close to see if stuff on it, people on it, life on it, in that sense. You understand? But as you look at it, it's already life. You understand? So extraterrestrial exists. These things exist. You understand? The awareness of it, where we have come from this, we have a kind of taboo because the Western Christian paradigm make you just think that aliens, that is not a, you know. But everything in the cosmos is the Most High created.
See.
You understand? So if it's the Most High rated, then it is.
It should be in existence.
And it have life. You know what I mean? And the life in something is the Most High. That is why when you check it out, even my aunts, if you press him and you try and kill him, it have a point where he go realize, hey, you trying to take my life, go fight for that.
Yeah.
And he go bite her.
Yeah.
Even though you know you're more powerful than him.
He was still trying to fight for that ounce of life.
Because that life there, you go put everything protecting that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's up to you. There is where Rastafari teach ones too in the earlys when things was a little more clouded. You know what I mean? And it's still clouded right now, but when things was a little more harder to access knowledge, you start to really hear the man on the corner talking a certain way to really get it. Now you could go on YouTube, now you could, you understand? You could even take in Kush on couch and learn a lot. It wasn't like that all the time. You understand? So these things was just looked as taboo because it's a Western Christian paradigm and aliens now. But it come in like the same thing like, well, the spookism what they put in the Bible, if you would have no problems with that,
Right.
I don't think that aliens so far removed from that.
From that. Yeah.
Having angels, having man walking on water, having having
People raising from the dead and
yeah, come on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even in the Old Testament too, with a lot of things with the wheel, with Ezekiel. You understand?
The eye with
These
the
is
eye,
come on, is like some of these things already on a level where you have to believe it.
Yeah.
It's not something that you ever see in your lifetime.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So aliens, you mightn't see it in your lifetime, but don't think that this man is a fool or this man is a thing for believing that, because you believe some things that kind of far-fetched too.
True.
Yeah, but and then that big great universe that we have out there and thing to say that life
that
only
life?
exists on Earth alone is a kind of a vain statement to make, that a real kind of small-minded thinking statement.
And
'cause-
we draw that same conclusion too, that anything create, whether from Earth or extraterrestrial,
Had to come from the
had to
Father.
come from the Father.
Father, come on.
You know? So even
You
if
know
it's a green man, as they say, you know what I mean, that Jamaica
that had to be Jah work.
Come on. and
Unless you
in it-
believe in a God that only create the Earth
Hear
and
this.
just the Earth alone.
My brethren, I know my brethren, but one of the teachers, you know what I mean, I have a bounce up, he's my family, a man named Alam, right? Yeah. His reasonings well involve the cosmos.
See.
You understand? Even in vibration. You understand? Studying what is vibration. He would tell you the note of the moon is a B flat.
See.
He would tell you the note of the sun is a C sharp. You understand? But not the C sharp on the 440 log. On the righteous log, meaning it's not the same 440 vibrations,
Yes,
but it's
sir.
called
Yeah.
the A note.
Yeah.
That was standardized by the Pope. Not this Pope, but the sixth Pope. You understand? Along with the English alphabet and the Pope Gregorian calendar, they established the A note, the standardized, the 440 log. You understand? Then he would reason, Alam would reason that this log that is what is more foreign to the universe or to Earth than even what people would call aliens then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Earth vibrating at B flat and it's the sun vibrating at C sharp and the moon vibrating at B flat, it's showing you that there's a cosmic harmony going on.
Yeah.
Because when you check for life, is feel for a pulse, is listen for a heartbeat, sound is life. Where it have vibration is life. So these places throwing off a note.
Yeah.
So it had to be alive.
Yeah.
You understand?
That is the next thing. Just to find out a little more, because I understand the whole 440, 444, 432. I have an understanding,
Yes,
right?
sir.
When you try to explain it to people, sometimes they don't get it. But I feel your explanation might be a little more,
Yes, I
you know? Yeah.
Well, that is my area, right? As a musician, as a revolutionary musician, my focus is tuning.
Yeah.
Like I say, we was reasoning before, there's more time. Sometimes I like to listen music without words.
Yeah.
Because I don't want anybody I want to be free to think. Music does help me think, but if you're telling me words, then you'll put that to me
Thoughts in your mind.
then my thoughts will veer onto that stream. Sometimes I don't want that. But inside of that now, the words, what the music says vibrationally, does even be more important than what it say,
Sure.
word song power wise.
Seen.
So the fact that we singing praises, we doing all what we do in revolutionary music, but we ain't change the tuning, the vibration not really getting to capture its full potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a musician, I love Bob, I love all my forefathers musically, but I learned from, like I say, one of my master teachers, Alam. He was a man making pan.
Yeah.
Pan is one of the last instruments to be made in the planet.
Yes, sir. Yes,
right?
I.
From Trinidad, from we home.
Yes, I.
You
Yes, I.
understand?
For sure.
We're talking normal thing now.
Yeah.
Inside of this making a pan, making my way of the tuning deeper on a resonation, like further than where people is here even.
Yeah.
Even just sinking pan alone, a pan tuner just let you know them. That's why this is where earmuffs.
Right.
Because syncing the drum is it make your ears like it's a loud thing. No?
Yeah.
So it make your ears more sensitive. You understand? But inside the vibration of music being important, the tuning so important, that is the area where I study.
Yeah.
And here what I go tell you about tuning now. Just like if you have a guitar in the room and we tune a string here, like we don't even call it a E or nothing. We tune a string to 432,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
When I reach 432, everything in the room that resonating at that vibration does throw off the same note. Meaning if I have a next guitar over there, tune over, or a pan or a completely different instrument and I hit that note, them other things goes this ring. It'll show you the connectivity.
Key of the note.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the life in something having a vibration. And let me say, all right, 432, 440, right? Half of that is the same note. You understand?
Right.
So if you take 220, it would be the same note as 440, but an octave lower. For musicians, they go understand me, but for
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
it's just basically a high note that is same as a low note when they sing it. But it's the exact same note, the high and the low.
Yeah.
You understand? And it just goes straight down to where they say elephants alone, this here on that level,
Right.
where it's like vibration in the single numbers. Because there is 3 numbers. We at 440, that is
Yeah, that-
audible to man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The lower you go, is the less audible. When you pass like 80, they say
Yeah,
that is
all-
completely below man
Normal hearing.
ability to
Yeah.
hear, right? They say babies is here on that level though, right? But in this level, it have a whole conversation going on at the root of everything existence. That is our note is based on that
Frequency.
root level frequency. It's a low note. So that is why sometimes a man say it's heights. Heights is not really where the real powers is. The powers is in the depths, Rasta. Especially if we're using music and even maths.
Yeah.
When you bring it down to the one number,
Yeah.
that is where you could find the power of it for real. You have a million and
Yeah.
power, and you bring it down to one number, that is when you just find the real power of it. So when you bring 440 down to one number, the existence of that is something outside a man. There's something where the Pope was trying to establish. You understand? We can go good as our next show too. We had to talk about music on that level.
Yeah.
But I want to say this too. Me and the eye
Yeah.
have a connection. Me and the eye have a
Yeah.
connection.
Yes, I.
Cosmic conversations
Yeah.
is a thing where I man start because I have a passion
Yeah.
for reasoning just as much as music.
sure.
Yeah.
And I tend to merge the two. You understand? Like right now I refrain, like just now I have to refrain from really singing what the note is.
Yeah.
Because I just make music and reasoning one. But I want to really reason when it's reasoning time and music when it's music time. So Cosmic Conversation was that
Place to have that conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that reasoning about vibration is a show where we had to have our next time.
For sure.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But understand that it have a tuning. What does resonate with the planet, and 440 log is not that. You understand?
Yeah.
So we had to focus as revolutionary musicians not on just the words we put on the music. The bed that we lay for the words had to be the right tuning.
True.
And there's what Buzzrock really is. Buzz is the vibration, the rock is the earth. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is what I'm really talking about
When I say that.
What is me? There you go.
Yeah.
In my area, because every man have an area where he, you know what I mean, special truth, because we don't specialize. You know what I mean? And that's where he special truth in. So he could bring that to the rest of the man them, you know?
Yes, sir, to the community.
To the community, the one. Just the other day, I'm going to bring up something on the eye them couch.
Yes, I.
I had a reasoning with my brother. And we were saying that the world, the planet, is one organism
Right.
separate into different parts to play one, like that stage one show is one thing. You understand?
One grand show.
One thing, right? What is that show about? What is it about? I would like to ask the item that question on the item couch. Anybody could come in there.
If I was to give an answer, just briefly thinking about it, I think the show would be a demonstration of the creator's greatness. A demonstration on the love, the compassion, the wisdom, the everything that the creator manifests into everything that it have.
Yes, sir.
This is the show for that. This is the great show of
For
that.
who to see? Who's the ones looking at it?
Well, it's so grand or so well thought of that he both give you a cameo and a viewing point at the same time now, boy. So you see it? You get the ultimate as a living being now, boy, as a man experiencing the show in real time. You get the best of the both thing now, boy, because you get the POV vision and you also get a cameo in the thing same way too. You see it? Yeah, it's just up to the man now to the side or role he truly walk into do now, boy. Whether he just play a little background character or you stand up as a warrior, anything and be a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see it? That might
Even to
mean
the background character, he's the star, you know.
Still, you know what I mean? That was say wherever role a man choose.
Yes, sir.
None in greater than none still, you know what I mean?
Here what I man. Give me a word song.
I was
that.
going to say now,
I see it in
nothing can exist without the other thing. Now. You know? One molecule by itself can make the man. Now.
Yes, sir.
So, one away or just the sun alone existing or the seas alone existing, okay? Because the creator in him wisdom see that it needed a stage in the first place. You know what I mean? A grand stage with all the props and everything for the show to take place now. Because then show might have been like a boring too now, you know what I mean? But aside from that, yeah, the question you asked there, I waiting to hear what you say because you make me either go and reason on that now, or lie down in my sleep and really think about that because you remember you asked the second question you asked is who going and view the show now?
No one looks what my brethren say.
Yeah.
Spoon me to ask, well, if it's a demonstration, who is it being demonstrated for?
Yeah.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Here's my eye man.
Yeah.
Sips on it, cause we, you know what I mean? I kind of slightly have an advantage on the item because this was reasoned for like a little 2-3 hours.
Before.
Yeah. Where I had this reasoning the other day.
Yeah.
You understand? So in agreeing that everything interconnected and related and it's basically one organism, the planet. You understand? What taking place on the planet is a replica of what taking place in your body. And what taking place in your body is basically, you see how they say in the Bible, 7 days is the creation of man. That 7 days ain't done, right? The creation itself is what we experiencing, the birth. Just like when you see a child born, it is coming to the earth. It's somewhat dread.
Yeah.
It's not all a bed of roses. It's not just a nice, beautiful thing. Although it's a beauty in it still.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, but the journey is a church or son same way.
So in this organism, becoming its full potential is a somewhat not so nice looking thing.
I dig it.
You understand? So what we think is like, how this happening, how that happening, how this happening, is a becoming, is a birth, is a universal, what we could say, a origination, it originating to become the Most High.
The creation is still being created.
Yes, sir.
Dig it.
I pushing that as a form of African spirituality, come from an African man thinking. The
Because
paradigm.
If you dig it, if you the whole story of Christ, the reason Christ come again is because the fallen man, he supposed to bring we back to the Father, right? Which is the point we heading back to now. So even in the whole, you could see where, yeah, boy,
Yeah.
we still,
Even check this, brother.
you know,
All right, let me say I up against this microphone right here. Is this size. I up against it. How much of this I could see? How much of this I could really be aware of? The further away I get from that, is the more I could be able to look at this and understand what this is.
See?
So man have to make that journey away from the Most High to come forward. Because for we to understand and to become like the Creator, in the image and the likeness, we can use that. You understand? The likeness had to be the awareness of what this microphone aware of. I had to be aware of it, just like he would be aware of I aware of him. So the distance I had to reach away to come back and to be the same size and understand what is this. You understand? It's the journey where we take right now.
Right.
And what is the journey where every youth man, even the wisest man, take away from himself to find himself. To find himself. You have to freaking make that journey. You can't just sit there.
because we say that same thing, we say,
Let's say.
you have to ask questions. If it is you sure about what you're dealing with, your word song is the word song. So why you can't question it? Questioning should be because you should be able to shake it
If
and
it's
it's
true.
supposed to stand up.
And it's supposed to hold for
You know?
still.
If it's true.
Yeah.
That is why we as Rasta, we always question things. And I mean from in the earlys when it was just literally, because I think the revolutionary code changed now from opposed to what it was when we used to say words like white supremacy.
Yeah.
Now is white dependency. And now the paradigm not even on outside of me. There is no man. There is not the man. The man or they, all of that do exist.
Yeah.
What
at
Trump
the end.
doing, what everybody doing, are aware of it.
Yeah.
But what I doing
Yeah.
is the most important thing.
Facts.
In the sense of,
Facts.
yeah, I write in my story right now. You understand? And how I want it to go is mind over matter. I am in control of that. It's not outside of me. You understand? I think that even one of the master teachers, I'll say again, when 2000 on the Pope Gregorian calendar come, enough spells fall away. So they had to cast new spells. Because the spiritual world have rules.
Yeah.
We sure about that.
Yeah.
And
You
even
understand?
even the English language in itself is a spell.
Exactly.
That's why they have
Spell word.
spellings and
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
We was the
English
ones who-
language in itself.
Come on, like,
You see it?
Yeah, that is why I say we special truth. We don't specialize. We internal truth. We do internal lies.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. We had to deal with the etymology of some of these words to really understand what you're saying inside of what you're saying.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because by saying you let out a vibration and that vibration must have an impact.
Yeah.
Must
Yeah.
have a ripple
Your
effect.
words, song. Power.
You see it? So you
Just the
mean,
fact that we hearing one another right now in the science
yeah.
is a next level thing.
Yes, I.
Because we using vibration
And frequency.
and putting word song on it and you interpreting it based on what you
Hearing.
exactly your brain.
Because bring a Japanese right now here now. Somebody from Japan and put them to sit down and we have the same conversation. They wouldn't understand a single word. They just noise them
it's just
hearing.
noise.
You see it?
You understand?
So based on definitely based on an indoctrination or that language or wherever you grow up to, you will be more privy to pick up on that frequency.
Yes, sir.
So it makes sense when I say, go back and learn the other languages. go back and learn the ancient languages, so at least when you're searching for truth or ancient truth,
You could stand up on something where you could even be more sure, validated by people who care about you.
because
Yeah,
even the word amen, I was just telling somebody that a couple days ago, burn out that word, because that come from our old doctrine, and Ra and them fellas and them, and he wanting you to be able to say thanks for anything you get, because he tell himself all things come from me, and you know what I mean?
But
It's just flesh still.
But even when you check that is still a Western Christian paradigm that if for we to look at it that way, because I think that Amen, even when you say it now, Amen, you understand? Or we I man. It are different ways you could put the vowel in front of the consonants, but the sure in language the consonants is the, like to say, the crossroads of the words, that is the point where they does really germinate to have a real meaning.
Right.
The vowels could even change, like man to say sila, man to say sela, man to say salam,
Shalom.
man to say selem.
Yeah, ashe.
You understand? It's basically, but when you check Ra, you understand? And and Amen. These things is powerful things. We can't, just like how they say, even, I don't want to go down that road, because it's a touchy road, but people as appropriate certain things to themselves, like pride.
Seen.
Pride have a meaning. Before. Like even let me go there, let me go here. The serpent in the Bible. The serpent is demonized because they say the serpent tempt Eve.
Right.
Prior to that, the serpent was never demonized. What make the serpent demonized? What make the word Ra or Amen demonized? Is where you had to check.
Seen.
Not the word itself, not the serpent itself. Because a baby does say Ra on their own,
Right.
and they say and ba and ka and all these things. These things is not evil.
No.
The demonization of these
Come
things
from the context.
come from the context, and the context, especially as we speak in English,
Right.
you had to check the context, because our context come from a colony context. So that when we hear things outside, like even they say, our next one where they take appropriate is the word gay. Gay mean happy.
Right.
Now gay means something else.
Right.
Pride used to mean black power. And then they say proud when you hear the word proud.
Proud, yeah.
Pride used to mean a sense of right to
it's
be proud, yeah.
revolutionary thing.
Right.
Now it don't mean that again.
No.
Somebody appropriate the rainbow.
Yeah, because
Rainbow
the
used to
context
mean
attached to it
something.
now is that.
But I don't feel like I could give in to everything somebody appropriate. Like the rainbow was I and I, as rainbow is I and I thing.
Seen.
And I just deal with the rainbow circle chode.
Yeah.
True.
And I just deal with the covenant when we was on the complete
Noah.
biblical energy. The covenant of Noah. We think, you understand? You don't want to go too far, but then it get appropriated by, and now I wouldn't even really too especially wear a jersey with that. Is because it appropriated by somebody to be demonized and not giving in to that no more. They demonize Ra, they demonize the serpent, they demonize the word gay, they demonize pride, they demonize bumbleclad, what we now talking about. You understand? I can't be like, for me, I had to look at things and get my own eyes. You can't give me demon eyes for things. I have to look at it. If I see a demon, then I go deal with that based on what I see.
Yeah, well,
But
the interpretation is individual.
And
Always.
Ra-
Yeah.
it's not demonized in my book. Ra is the beginning of Rastafari.
Yeah.
Ra, star, a star from Ra. Ra is just a next name for the sun.
Son.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Right.
The son irritated by the father, by the creator. The irritator, the originator in the spiritual, the African spirituality. They don't even have a word that they say creator, because that make like somebody make you. You understand? Originator mean you come from it.
Yeah.
is a part of it. That is how they see it. You understand? In African spiritual, that is how we see it. And I see it. So that is a real dread area too, where I think we just leave just haphazard to allow, people to demonize certain things, and they take away the power that we had when we used that.
When we was using those songs.
Those songs, and even like the serpent means something in the Kundalini. The serpent means something to the Nagars and the serpent kings. The serpent means something to even the ancient in Kemet. The serpent means something to even the Dogon. But then now when we get this Western Christian paradigm that, hey, the serpent is who tempt Eve, and the serpent was this, and the serpent was that. And even in that reasoning, sometimes like when people call like that man is a rat boy, that man is a real snake. Sometimes I feel like what the snake do, what the rat do to be called to deserve that, because that man a go on a certain ways where he worse than the rat. You don't see it? And that man is a dog. Sometimes the dog and them don't even do what men do. You don't see it? So we just come like we demonizing the dog. The dog never do that.
And that's how we're saying, especially context-wise.
Yes, I.
Right?
And I have to speak to that especially amongst my far right peers.
Yeah.
Because we speaking from this Caribbean dispensation of a black man going through this experience in this part of the world with the colonialism.
Yeah.
And we become something of that. So we have to be careful with the residue, what that does leave.
Yep.
You know, see it?
Even in Babylon.
Even, come on.
Yeah. With even the frequency of the thing, all right. So I don't know English is a spell, right? But my intentions in me,
Yes,
I laughful.
Yes, sir.
So everybody I see, good morning, what with my all my goodness from down and my big toe coming
sir.
out. But tell me from your view, right? Because I saying good morning, which morning is something you do in sadness, and it's something I and all stop saying a while now. I go try and say grand rising or
full rise.
Full rise, because of the etymology of the word now. But if I don't know anything about that and my vibrations clean, what you think about if there is something that could counteract the spell that casting?
You have a point there. You know what I mean? And I go bring this to light too. Like even we, like my grandparents, they was taught a certain way by the age of their times, their experience teach them a certain day, and they was religious for the most part. We as youths coming up, we wasn't exactly like them, but they still deal with I and I outside of the fact that they was structured. You understand? So I think that the truth does transcend all boundaries. If you really mean you want my rising, you want my waking up to be good, is that, you understand? But it have a percentage of it where if the ignorant and who put you under that spell and you ignorant of it, it come like being rich have a price to pay, but being ignorant have a dread of price to pay.
For sure.
You understand? To have the knowledge is have a price to pay, but to not have it is even a dread of price. You understand? So sometimes to the person who not aware of what they're saying, especially like they're saying words like enemy.
Yeah, of me.
Like, and we said that for years.
Yes, sir.
We say, hey, the white man is the enemy. This is the enemy. The system is the enemy. When you check it out, no.
Yeah.
Enemy, you don't want to put them words together. Damn connotations
Nothing
like that.
can't end.
So, yeah, and when you check it out, what was going on in them time, it was enemy for real.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. When you look at it,
We was being killed in mass freaking, you know what I mean? And being treated a certain way. So, like, I think that the percent that we give into ignorance by using certain words, and like just like you just now you saying it, and you're saying Isla fall in between. You're saying what you're saying, you know. So that is because you know and you're aware that hey, these words could have something else in it besides what I put in it.
For sure.
You understand? And because of that, you change it a little bit. And I think that is what black people do worldwide, regardless of thinking of it spiritually or not. We didn't speak English in the... That's why when you go to America, you hear a different broken
It's
English.
broken.
Yeah.
For sure.
You come in the Caribbean, all over the Caribbean is different
Call it
styles,
dialect, patois.
vernacular.
Yeah.
You understand? You go in the British blacks, you go in Africa, and even in Africa right now, it's like English is out 70% of the continent speaking English, you know. But they don't speak it like I and I.
Yeah.
They speak it different.
Yeah.
That's like how you hear all the how could I forget that, but the Afro beats.
Right.
Seeing.
Like, they go do this and they have their own style.
Yeah, the way how
And
they
the
talk.
way how
Picture on the
and,
go.
and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So up inside of that, the African all over the world take language and do something to take it out of the spell
Yeah.
and make it into we own spell what we want to see. But still, we as Rasta now and we as freaking more revolutionary people who just go further. We
Learn how to
started-
take the thing and turn it into something I feel.
yeah. We know enemy again. It's enemy self.
Yeah.
You understand? Only I could be the enemy. You see?
Yeah, because we reach that time, you know, where the decisions we're making can't be haphazard and it has to be just how the youths for the information. It's just so you have to process it and use it now. It's concise and deal with it. So making the conscious decision that, hey, I'm going to change this portion of words out of my vocabulary is something that I think recommended, especially now.
Yeah.
You know, to stop even cursing yourself and putting spells on yourself and others around
Exactly
you.
like saying, boy, pressure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
things will be
real.
hard.
Yeah,
but
somebody
you don't know.
asks you how you're going.
So
Pressure, boy,
even
yeah.
when something go wrong, they don't know how it is go.
Yeah.
I mean,
How you mean?
Yeah.
how you mean, bro?
Yeah,
It's
I
go
mean,
bad. Here what I go say.
True.
I don't know how it is go. How you say?
Yeah.
It will go how you say.
True.
You understand? So when a man tell me, you don't know how it is, I'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah. But I looking at that from my perspective. You understand?
Yes.
I not taking it how it is. It's like three, four bad thing happen.
Yeah.
Expect 10 more.
For sure.
No, in this paradigm, the revolutionary code is mind over matter. You creating 10 more.
Yeah.
It's more than expecting. It's more like creating, like irating, and you know what I mean. Or really.
Like they like to say now, or the word they're so in love with right now, manifesting.
Yeah.
Everybody manifesting and
And they're using it
You know?
loose.
they're using it loose now, boy. But
Very.
But
But we've been doing that, you
they're
know.
manifesting evil.
Well,
That
hear
is
what?
happening, eh? Yeah.
Hear what?
They're manifesting
24
evil.
hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
You sleep, they say sleeping for 8,
Yeah.
right? You take out.
Hopefully.
I don't sleep for 8, but let me say that, right? You work for an next 8. You're supposed to work. At least I just work, music, different thing.
yeah.
This is our work right now.
Definitely.
It's our work you enjoy, but it's our work.
Yeah.
You understand? You're
Yes, sir.
committed to your livelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like 16 hours going there. Right? Time to think for yourself. Really small, you know, because you have to spend other time. But we just be doing that all while we're doing other things. But the amount of time you spend allowing something you don't want to see happen in your mind happening. And then it happen.
Yeah.
You had to say, give thanks, you know. Because that mean your mechanics working.
Yeah.
I mean, your mind is over your matter. So we've been manifesting because
Facts.
we've been saying it go be hard.
Yeah.
And how it was.
It turned out to be hard. Yeah.
Well, right. Even me, at that time I used to say, yo, I didn't ready for my music.
And it wasn't.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because that's what I say.
Yeah.
Yesterday, me and Gary all in that reason.
I don't say them kind of thing
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And it's not that they ever was not ready for my music. It was that I pushing that energy out there.
Today.
Yeah.
So
And
I
that
make
becoming a
them-
reality.
Yeah.
and make me have an experience.
See.
It had nothing to do with them.
See.
You understand? What people, everybody ready for everything. A woman doesn't be ready to be pregnant. Just get pregnant. Nobody did you was ready to be born.
No.
You're born.
Yeah, but you're here though.
Oh, come on. The readiness is just a fictitious, like a man.
Yeah.
It's a created thing.
So in that essence now it shows, man, how much power lies within them to create
Yeah.
the space, the energy, the vibe that they want out of their life.
Yes, sir.
Because you could step away from the curse and the cry and the
Yeah.
praying on yourself and vibrate
what we go give the
positivity.
people, we give them this as a tool,
Yeah.
right? Try and spend more time thinking of what you want to see happen
Scene.
than what you don't want to see.
Yeah.
And if you're taking time out to watch a movie, to read a book, to listen a song, to do anything besides think about or let your mind create, your irate, let it be something that you want to see happen. Because it don't matter how the story go, when you read a story or you watch a movie, it don't matter, It's how you look at it.
Yeah.
You understand? Does make it different or make it appeal to your. It's what you bring to the table. The book don't open you. You just open the book. You understand? So to speak.
Yeah.
It's what you bring to the table. A man read the same Bible you read and turn into whatever,
Yeah.
And he will justify his whateverness in that same book.
Facts.
You understand?
Facts.
And you will be Rasta man and stand with that book too.
Same way.
Because the truth transcends all boundaries. It don't matter the story you're reading. If you're looking at it for righteousness or for
Yeah, it's not
whatever,
the messenger, it's the message.
what you bring to it.
Yeah, it's
You
not the
understand? That
messenger,
is why
it's the
you
message,
just
yeah.
open up. You just click. You understand?
That's why I always say like plenty of the movies and thing is we don't know, right? A lot of high science and subliminal messaging but when you have a certain consciousness and awareness, you could then watch these things like you're seeing
Yeah, you see in perspectives.
you
in
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And even
And it's creativity at the end of the day,
and even if it's an evil picture, you could still sap out
don't
that piece of goodness from it now.
And
you know?
sometimes for right, the goodness not even in pieces, like chunks.
You see it?
Because here what it is up inside of this. When things so good, it have a next side.
Yeah, for duality.
The balance.
It must have a next side.
Yeah.
See it.
Yeah, it's your awareness. The more you are aware of the whole thing, this is what we was now speaking about in when we expressing ourselves and we speak in English. The more we are aware to when we hear a word and say, yeah, and we say, well, yeah, I mean, and we could hear that and dissect it. That is the awareness of the whole,
Yeah.
as opposed to just know what I trying to say.
Yeah.
Dig it.
You understand? So when we are aware of it, so I just watch movies, I just listen music, but sometime more, I go take a little time and fast.
See it.
Yeah, some people call it fast.
Yeah.
Or slow down.
Yeah.
But let's call it fast.
Yeah.
But I'll slow down
Yeah.
and stop consume so much.
Yeah.
Right? And let myself tell myself according to what you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
I just let to hear what I'm telling myself better. You understand? Because I'm not bombarded by a set of things.
Yeah.
You understand? But for the most part, I think that the truth transcends all boundaries, and I do glory in just like weird, real frig up movies.
Yeah.
But it have a duality in all of them things where you could see.
Yeah.
You understand? And get real insight. And most of these people like CIA have a office in Hollywood. Like, why?
Why?
Hollywood have an office in the CIA. Why?
Yeah.
And these movies, like, all they're brushing things up against one another, all they're shooting ideas, all they're hashing it out and then presenting it to the people. So a lot of it is true.
Yeah.
We watched plenty movies what was like imaginative and like borderline.
Reality.
It was reality now.
Most of the movies come from script, which means somebody write it, and when they was writing it, they write it from that place of duality. Or, you know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
With intention, even self they using, even self as I say, is different entities.
What we doing right now
They're reflecting wherever, you know?
is a channel, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Lance and
It's
Productions,
the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what you broadcasting.
Yeah.
Now everybody broadcasting. Let's call it broadcast. Podcast.
Yeah.
Cast.
Yeah.
It's cast a
Yeah,
line.
because you're throwing that
Cast
signal.
a line for what?
Yeah, you're
To
throwing that
catch a
signal.
fish. You understand? So you could have sustenance, so you could eat.
Yeah.
You understand? So you're casting. But now is now it boils down to it's not just NBC and CNN and
Yeah.
it's freaking the IDM. It's I and I. So
Everyone
everybody
have a
had it.
platform.
Well, they make it that way, but that platform still on their platform.
Yeah.
I dig
So
that.
that's why I just watch like it have a virgin baby Matumbi. That's glorifying like yo, that is why I wouldn't even say certain things. That's why I had to kind of beat around certain bush.
yeah, yeah,
because
it
I
are
know
things-
that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's our channel,
Yeah.
but it broadcasting on whose bumbleclad
Network.
network.
Yeah.
So for the most part, until we have, which there is, black network,
Yeah, man. Think
where we could think
Yeah.
and express ourselves freely. But then we had to build the people to make them forward to that network. And it's the same thing with a lot of Africans doing right now. And I look into Africa for that because Africa look like, it
They're,
jumping.
yeah, they may really making strides in,
It's
bringing a
stepping
different
forward.
approach to the thing and creating their own and building their own commerce and
You could
their
see the
own
movement.
banking, their
Even-
own infrastructures and thing.
Even in the Rasta communities, down here, we just talk planting. I see some Ethiopian and some Nigerian, when them talk farming, yo, them serious. They
No,
can get
no.
2 million from the government, buy 60 tractor thing. And
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
that
2 years
land,
ago,
that,
and they
yeah.
They could tell me how much sales they do, how much money they pay back thing,
Yes,
a
sir.
record, you
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean? So, yo, Africa on point, Jed.
Yeah, well, we African people on point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
Time is now.
we as the Caribbean man, Caribbean black man,
Yeah.
we contribute
Defin-
to them.
Definitely.
That's right.
They contribute to I and I.
Diaspora.
We contribute to even the black American paradigm.
That's right.
We consume and feed them. They feed us in the sense of we are heirs, Marcus Garvey. They you understand?
Yeah.
We all interconnected and we just contribute to one another worldwide. But now that we have a more, I would say, hands-on connection, independent, we still dependent to an extent like we always was on it.
Yeah.
But we still independently connecting, you understand?
Definitely.
And enough of these things is black people invented. It's black people invented only network where we depend on thing.
Yeah.
We mightn't have the glory.
And right now you're seeing a
But
lot of
we make it.
inventions
Yeah.
actually coming out of Africa. I was watching one the other day where this Abidjan Billa engine that running on water. Literally. And pushing a car and everything and
What about the guy with the new battery?
Yeah.
The helicopter, the TV,
Yeah.
and the car. And I don't know which president, one of the presidents are the Nigeria, I don't want to misquote now. Endorse it fully.
Yeah.
Where they have he under security lock and guard because there's assassinate them kind of people.
Have a man
fast
named
now.
something Moses who invent a machine what does harvest water out of the atmosphere.
I see that.
Yeah.
You understand? And the American army pick up on it and
Oppose.
funding them and they resting it down all over in different places. But they had it in where they had the big flood. I think that was North Carolina, one of them places.
Yeah.
And they set it up to relieve people because of the floods and different things. But these is, and that is just the ones we kind
Know
of, you could do a whole show where we had to do freaking some proper research and find all the black freaking inventors who create different things what we're using right now.
yeah.
You understand?
That list could be long.
I know
That
that,
list
but
go
I
long
actually have
for
a
it.
list like that where I show the children like the
that-
hairbrush, the refrigerator.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, that list-
Scoring music, they all kind of
that
the
list-
For we
staves.
to be wearing clothes
Yo,
like this.
come on.
You understand? The mill and the cotton freaking
Come on.
mill, to make these clothes
Yes,
and
sir.
things. Come on.
Yes.
You see, one of the biggest fears is for a man to realize themselves, And when I say man, I mean the black man, but you see it. For man to really realize himself and see the greatness they come from and the greatness that lies inside of them.
Yes, sir.
How much they contribute. When you start to really take that account how much a black person or how much black people or we as a black race, you see it contribute to society, contribute to the upcoming, even contribute to where they have as the society now. Because we was there in the start when they didn't even know how to be themselves properly. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
We was there in the start to kind of just to get them shocked out. So from my time and come back to that kind of overstanding, men go have more respect for life.
But yeah,
Men go have more respect for the opposite gender. Men go have more respect for themselves. Man go have more respect and live more like a, you know what I mean, a kingly kind of, yes,
Yeah.
kind of kingly way.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like that will lacking right now, eh? You see it? I feel like the trick that they're working on the ones-on-ones is that they're distracting them so much from self that as you see, a man won't even switch off the radio bedroom to listen to his self think. Because that for him is like
It becomes
Yeah,
scary,
yeah.
but
that frightening.
stressful.
He
Work.
started study all we going through. Or he started, you know what I'm trying to
but
show
you
you.
see now that
Keep your
opportunity you have to think,
This bring you so much.
but that is where
Ascension,
that is
Benjamin.
what causing your problems because
Yeah,
you're spending that time
Not
in the-
thinking.
and you're spending it when you're really thinking about the wrong thing, about what you don't want to see.
Yeah.
What they're doing is defining opportunities to distract themselves now. We are man in him have to think about. Regin, if you all are reasoning with most people right now, there's a string them hanging on when it come to the originator.
Yes, sir.
The string them barely there. They you know, I can't wait. Like I used to say a long time, they're swinging on a dribble. Because they ain't sure, they you know?
Yeah, because it's so far from them.
So far, bro.
Yeah.
When you ask a man in the morning, Jed, when you ask your bedroom, I'm even praying in the morning, no, here we telling you about you getting kicked out, so you police for go to work and I still had to make something. So within that all that period, that time, you had every time to do everything. You ain't a little time to send a little thanks to the day, or you know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like the distractions is what men using now, boy, not to go into self now, boy. Is it?
Yeah, time, boy, Dan, boy. Time is an important thing. Where you spend your time doing?
Structure.
You spend your time.
Time management.
Yeah, I mean, the
Time
only difference
management.
with like a man who master a skill is the fact that he committed time to it and didn't allow nothing to change him feeling or not seeing his way. You understand? Because nobody do have it all together. Yeah.
Nah.
Don't let nobody fool you.
Nah.
Brother, do not the fact that we come here is to split it apart
For sure.
Facts.
with nobody in flesh. You understand?
Yeah.
Have it all together. We come in this realm to break it apart.
Definitely.
And we want to break it apart to build it forward because we want to be aware what it is. You understand?
You want to
That is
bring
how-
value to it.
Exactly. That is how we could bring value to it. Knowing what it is. You understand? It's an important thing to a person who literally, because watch me, in this time, if we could allow more than like try, because we're not human tryings, you know,
Yeah.
Seeing.
or human thinkings.
Yeah.
It's human beings. You just have to allow. But allowing is a weird thing right now because you're being programmed.
Right.
So what you might allow, you think you allowing that, but that is a programming
Yeah.
kicking in. Just like how we just look at things as it's supposed to be hard. We think that it's supposed to be hard. We just have sayings to go with it. The hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory. It's justifying that this man's supposed to go through something.
Yeah. Cause
And you know what has happened to him?
Yeah.
He just go through something.
Yeah. Cause you pray it.
But not because he's supposed to go through some things, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say because that is how we look at it.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
pay his
We
own
tell-
journey.
Come on.
No, you create a reality.
Yeah.
Because perception is a hell of a thing, right? And when I say a hell of a thing, I mean that the way you perceive a situation, you just create your reality from that. You see it? If you create to be a positive scenes, no matter what outcome, failures happen while you're going along, you will still be able to find the positive in it.
Yeah.
If you pray it as a negative from the first little trial, you're gone.
Well, that what has caused the procrastination, you know. That what has caused us to think it's fear we feeling when it's really anxiety, when it's really I don't want to get up because I could fail. Your mind don't start to think about, hey, I could bounce my toe, I might not have enough money. Instead of your mind say, how nice it might be when I get through with this.
Yeah, hear this.
You know?
Have a man say it no room for mistakes. I do agree with that. There is the realm. His mistakes will I play guitar
Same.
from making mistakes.
Yeah.
It's when you make the mistake, he doesn't know what not to do. This opportunity we have to live here now is to make mistakes.
True.
And
Not
learn
in the
from them.
sense of deliberately, but in the sense of this realm give you that opportunity to learn from it.
Yeah.
Because it have a course,
Yeah.
it have a back end, just like they say comfort.
Yeah.
Comforts this breed.
Weakness.
That's that, you know the thing?
Yeah.
Because the more you sit here and order everything you need, is the less you get up. And the
Yeah.
faster you get osteoporosis or some kind of next bone deficient disease. Because in what it is called adversity, not really trials, adversities is what life does thrive in. We just thrive in being challenged.
We just
We're
stop.
supposed
build
to walk and go
character,
for
build
the water.
everything.
We're supposed to climb for a little fruit when we want it. The fruit ain't just supposed to just walk to you and just jump in your lap.
Yeah.
Even if you just eat meat, you gotta have to run it down.
Hunt it.
Yeah.
You understand? The fact that you just walk in a KFC and you walk in a grocery and you have a million
pull it out.
cornflakes on the shelf and you just buy it. Them comforts is what this breed diseases. It have a back end. You understand? Just like cars is only 100 years, like 100 and something years, probably 100 years old. That, if you check certain diseases, that is the lifespan.
Link up,
It
yeah,
linked. Because the more you get comfort in this realm, you have to do it sparingly. Just like how you just play music. When I play music, it's the spaces, you know. I just put the notes sparingly
Right.
and leave the spaces
Dig it.
more abundant.
Yeah.
That because it done has something going on already. You know, what you need to do is little. It's not human doings.
Being.
It's beings.
Yeah.
So all you have to do
Just be.
is be. You don't have to do be.
Cause leading.
And that is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Because I say all you have to do is be. But you don't have to do. All you have to be
It's a be,
is
be.
be.
Yeah.
As men that
Come
always
on.
say is, you know,
Yes,
is.
is. Yeah, and that is the isness of it. Being.
be.
It means that.
But I was going to use my own example now. Because you say it real nice too, where I had this perfectionist in my mind so long that I sit down and plan a podcast for 4 years. I all the paperwork and I link up with Lion. Within 2 days,
Yeah.
the podcast was up. We didn't have everything.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was the best speaker.
Yeah.
We getting close. We take all kind, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
things
we
go
just
popping.
because
Yeah.
one of our favorite quotes is
Just do.
jump out the plane
Yeah.
and then build the parachute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Though,
Sure, why?
You fix the parachute on the way down.
You see,
yeah.
that level of thinking, you have to
Yeah.
say you're doing anything
Yes,
to
sir.
build that parachute. And you
No.
will get your learning and your teaching and to make
Well, you
sure
had to build it to
you're
stay alive.
Is it that or that?
Exactly.
You see it?
No, we ain't dead yet.
Yeah.
We ain't dead yet. We still there.
It gives you a perspective that,
I
hey,
like it better.
because you're always afraid to do. Procrastination was my scene.
Well,
Lovely
there's one
ideas
way-
and you ain't doing
Yeah.
now, but you know what I mean?
Readiness.
Yeah, turn up
is
like
an
ready.
illusion,
Yeah,
brother.
just get up
Yeah.
and do.
Do.
Understand?
Yeah, you go figure it out.
more you do
work
it.
out. Yeah,
You understand? Is the more it come, what it say second.
definite. Yeah.
You don't have to say, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, to walk to the door.
Nah,
It's
that natural.
But it had a time you started to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was young.
Yeah, it
and
was
now
young.
understanding walking. Just like the more you do, what it is do,
Yeah.
is the more it is come like it
Muscle
be.
memory.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
come
It's
like
not
muscle
doing
memory.
again, you're being. Me understand? But inside of that perfectionist is your God self.
Yes, I.
Sometimes
Yes,
don't
I.
look at it as a procrastination in the sense that it didn't get it
Yeah.
done in that time. The fact that it come now is when it's supposed to come, and I wouldn't say supposed to just out of a excuse,
Yeah.
but out of a linkage, because here what I is telling you. When I see the two man them thing, from the first time I see it pop up on my YouTube, because I subscribe to a lot of local when I say Trinidadian thing.
Yeah.
Because there are them some is,
Yeah,
right?
man.
So I see them, I say, yo, you see them two brother there? I like that link.
True.
In the
Thanks to
sense
that
of,
one.
it don't even matter no personalities.
Yeah.
You understand? We're taking the personalities out of it. We're more talking about the being
Yeah.
of how our brother does be and how our brother does be. I said that could be fruitful.
True.
Not because, but just because you know the paradigms of the people involved then. You understand?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
certain links, that is what had to be made to really, you know what I mean, bring the fruit, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Trees does help other trees, you know.
For sure.
They show you when they plant certain trees around certain trees, that does make other, you
Yeah, it's
understand?
a whole symbiotic
Because,
network.
come on.
Yeah, man.
It's a
Network.
interrelated and interconnected vibes. So when I see that, it's just time, boy, brother.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And
You
even
thanks to that,
for
man.
me, what? We just look at it like music and certain things, and even what it is called stardom and all these
Yeah.
things. You understand? That and readiness is all the same thing. It's an illusion. Yeah.
Facts.
Because it already is that. What he named, let me call her name, Bob Marley was a star before the world knew him.
Yeah.
Facts.
We talk. Yeah.
Muhammad
So
Ali.
that is what it- Yeah.
Aye, man. You understand?
Yeah.
I didn't wait for people to recognize Buzzrock for me to make it important to me and treat
Because
it
if you
like
can't
it
see
is.
it in yourself, nobody else ain't gonna see it.
Come on, brother.
How?
If you ain't
Like-
first see it in you.
How I does carry, how a man carry himself
Facts.
is only that nature or anybody will give him, you know.
Yes, I.
Like if I see you just move a certain way, I go pick up something off the ground and give you because I don't know that is what you
That is your
if I
standard.
don't know you carry yourself a certain way, I don't know how can I buy nothing for she inside of there. I had to go here.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how she's carries herself. You understand? So in that way, you will only be treated the way you just treat yourself. You understand?
Facts.
So you's either a star, he's either a light, or he's not. And when I say a light, I don't mean that darkness is something
Yeah, the
wrong.
opposite, yeah.
No. You understand? Darkness is actually the opportunity for the light. That is just like the mistakes. This is the room for mistakes. I mean the physical realm, not this one.
Facts.
Not the spiritual, not the internal realm, not the mental state. The mental state and mistake do have a course.
Yeah.
Like why you could dream something and wake up and say, "Oof, I'm glad that was a dream."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it had no cost to pay, it had no price to pay for that.
Yeah.
This realm, it have a price to pay.
Yeah.
And the price to pay is what does make you learn. Okay, if you're doing something all the time and you do ever get a price to pay, you know, you might continue doing that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Very good.
So, physical realm, 3D, third dimensional blackness, see this corner.
See it. The depths.
The depth. Let me get deep, my lad.
Yes, sir.
I like the heights too.
I mean, man.
It's sweet.
Put
up
on
in the
anything,
heights, but the depths is very serious thing. Like if you play certain notes at the depth of the root of the vibration, wherever it is, sometimes you could unalive it.
True.
That is how dread vibration is.
Yes,
You understand? The awareness of these things now like coming mainstream. Which is a nice thing.
Yeah, man.
I was watching a documentary the other day where they was using song to create different shapes and patterns
Cymatics.
with sand.
Cymatics.
Cymatics.
Like
Yeah.
science.
And to me, it was not only amazing, but tangible.
Yeah.
Seeing it was like a tangible ability to touch the thing, you know? To see, yeah, boy, song is really a powerful thing, and how powerful vibration is, and, you know, speak life into yourself, speak life into, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So everything right here, you know, it did, you know, it exists in everything is multiple dimensions on top itself. We could go into some of that, you know what I mean? Because everything right here, the song that you hear, it's in the air.
Exactly.
The radio wave 96.1 playing here right now.
Yeah,
we
just
don't have
the
the
receiver.
tool to receive it, but that vibration in the air.
Yeah.
Internet.
You know?
Yeah.
This
understand.
thing we
Once
just
it-
allow inside we place the
on.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That
I know
giving
get a
off
call while we
a
was
thing.
talking there.
Yeah.
You understand that come from though. So here where it is. We don't have to look at it as no spookism no more.
Yeah.
Nah.
Your phone working, you could turn on the radio. It have a frequency there.
Yeah.
It have a whole realm. It have a microscopic realm where you can't see because it's so small. But then it have a realm where you can't see because it's not physical.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
something tangible. This is the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
There's the realm when they walk in a room, sometimes they say, my blood will take that person.
Yeah, I ain't feeling that vibe.
Or I
yeah.
ain't feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes things, everything they speak to you on different levels.
Yeah.
But your interpretation of the thing is how you just balance it out to navigate this matrix,
Yeah.
this third dimension realm. But all this spookism what we used to see and we used to think, you know what I mean? Brother, it's real easy to explain it out. You can't explain
Facts.
away everything. But you could see the fact, especially that here what it have a realm that is unseen with a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And the frequency of these things, it appear that it's audible, but just not on the level where we could
could
hear
hear
it.
it, yeah.
But it's based on vibration and how tight of a
Yeah.
vibration and how vast, micro, you understand, as opposed to macro, you understand? But what we feeding off of is that same energy because they show you that even the awareness of me being here in this body,
Yeah.
the science of we African spirituality show you that this is not me. I projected into this body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
right.
understand? I'm
right.
not even in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I here to an extent in my thoughts and in my mental state. But still I could exist out of that because it show you when you have they call it NDE, near that experience.
Yeah. Or astral traveling and
They
these
just
kind of
show
things.
you that your awareness can be of the brain or of the heart because that stop.
Yeah.
So waiters really have awareness of
Yeah.
people being around, who
Yeah.
was there,
Yeah.
what went on, because these
Yeah.
are the facts they could use. Because when a man come back and tell you something else, like
They tell you
the
exactly
roof-
who is the
roof was
doctors
doing
and-
this,
Yeah.
and it had this, and them things was not in reality.
Yeah.
Then you go say, nah, that was just, he was hallucinating. But how you could hallucinate when your heart stop and your brain stop?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So to show you that the energy, what is you, projected into this body,
Facts.
we ancestors show you that.
Facts.
You understand? And it's not the body alone. You understand? That is why it had different sciences and different meditations. You could separate yourself from real thing. And people could be doing all kind of things to your body, but you ain't feel it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Facts.
You could jump in cold water and
And-
you warm. You understand?
Sit down in fire and all these kind of things. You seen
understand?
it?
We are that amongst we African
Yeah.
spirituality, man, walking and dancing in the fire.
Yeah.
And it's because men have the knowledge to understand what is and who. He know himself, who he is, as opposed to who the body is, what the body is. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And what the mind is. You understand? What these different states are being. You understand? A spiritual being. You understand? Life does never stop in that plane.
Seen.
You understand? All we ancestors within we and surround we in the way. You understand?
Yeah.
I live in where you live in. You understand? Is where your ancestors does be.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Where you're born to.
Yeah.
You understand? That is why the water from there, the fruits from there, the everything from there go agree with you better
Yeah.
than a different way and a different environment.
yeah,
You
because-
understand?
A different way.
Yes, I.
Yeah, I catch it, I catch
yes,
it,
I.
yeah, I catch it,
Cool
yeah.
Rastafari.
Yeah, I will sidestep that reasoning a little bit, right? Because you're just saying that experience and it kind of triggered that for me now. And I don't need it to get into the,
Yeah, man.
the
Yeah, man,
nitty
we
gritty.
touch it, man.
I know you was you're in recovery from an accident, right?
I mean, man, give thanks to life.
For
Rastafari,
sure,
right.
give thanks. And I know your healing journey, right? And for me, it was amazing because I kind of had that kind of conviction you had there where when I come to visit is up for Land Bright,
Yes, sir.
you're seeing yourself heal before you heal. You know, the doctors are amazed that you thing. What that journey was like for you and what make it be like that for you, where you heal so fast and your mental never really dipped now.
Chano, my mental did dip, brother. True, no lie. But what I would say even contribute to my healing mostly is my lifestyle prior to the accident. Maybe it's not for everybody, but man, as I tell us,
Yeah.
you know, I live a certain way. And I think that is what make, you know, my healing probably seem fast, although it seems slow to I, man.
To you, it would have been
In real, because you're going through it in real
Yeah,
time.
but it was fast still, you know, because, you know, I mean, I respect the science, I respect the education of my doctors and things. They see it 100,000 times.
Yeah.
So if they say I'm healing fast and thing, I wouldn't say no.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, Dada, for me, every man has had to reach a crossroad too. You understand? For yourself to have, to contribute to who is you. You understand? And reaching that crossroad has never be easy for nobody. You understand? Whether it's in a physical way, whether it's in a mental way. But what I would say to that, because that and all too, is like it's like something where you could never expect. You know what I mean?
You just had to experience.
Yeah, so it's like being born, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we have our awareness prior to that, but you still don't expect it because you have no remembrance.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you didn't plan that. But out of these things, this come into light sometimes, you know what I mean? It's just time. Time will tell according to Bob.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
True.
But I already, you know, hug it up, embrace it, you know what I mean, for what it is. You know what I mean? Because it's not my first experience like that,
True.
you know. Hopefully it could be the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John,
the
how
action
don't rough
Yeah,
you up
I
so
mean,
no
man.
more.
The action pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the movie. Dial back on that. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
So, Buzzrock, any new projects coming out? Anything
Yes, King.
coming up on
I'm
these
glad
steps?
they
You know?
asked me that question,
Yeah,
brother.
you know?
Yeah, man. Because for that, you know, that 2 years of, you know, sitting in, you know, cause
Yeah, I know musically you'd have
for
been
a while.
working still.
no, mentally I was working in the sense of contemporarily, because we do contemplate.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was, I was, let's call it premeditating.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
the approach, because more time is like I did consume, you know, movies and watch documentaries and read books, but I read myself a lot too.
True.
You know what I mean? I keep it quiet then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me to look within then, you know. And time will tell, you know what I mean? According to Bob Marley, you know what I mean? I done hug it up. And it's just, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta move, you gotta keep it moving, you know what I mean? But we have acoustic album.
You get?
I dropped about 3 tunes since I had that experience, you know. One named Patience will speak to my experience too. You know what I mean? The next one named Weed Alone.
Yeah. My
You
favorite.
know what I mean? Will speak to my experience too.
Addis
Because-
Ababa.
Addis Ababa.
Yeah, man, yeah,
You
man.
know what I mean? Will speak to even my universal overstanding of where I become, you know what I mean? And that Addis Ababa was a transition into a acoustic feel where I have a whole album one dropping in May.
Okay.
I have a next acoustic song releasing on the 11th of this month, Sinking Sand.
Yeah,
So there's enough musical things are going, you know, actually.
Give thanks for that, man.
You know what I mean? The more or the less I move around,
Yeah.
is the more music I do because, you know.
Yeah.
And right
yeah.
now moving around is a little less, so it's a little more music.
Coming still.
Yeah, enough.
Yeah.
I actually had it backed up. You know what I mean?
Seen.
It's one of the times with management and thing, you know. Had to,
Put in the work.
in the sense of, they had a,
Market did the thing the right way.
not only that, they had a whole the reins of the horse because it's really a Mustang, a wild Mustang. And it's wild, you know what I mean?
that.
So it wanted to run. So it just had a guide that, no, it had to run the course it had to run, you know what I mean? Because I have a lot of music they back up
For sure.
to just express, you know? Them can't take it. They can take things, but you can't take
The music from
ability.
yeah.
Yes, I.
Give thanks to that, man. I ain't gonna lie, the conversation was early.
Yeah, I give thanks to.
Yeah, it was a nice little sip.
Deep.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, what you mean, man? We got a nice little vibes. We definitely have to gather again.
For sure.
Go down on a particular topic.
Yeah,
If they are
we do that.
ready,
Yeah.
if they are want to come through,
Yeah, man.
full welcome anytime. You see it?
Yeah, man. I
'Cause-
see the item have musical vibes too.
The exclusive
I
experience.
would say that, you know, for this year I'm more part forward into the production side of
Seen,
it. You know what I mean?
seen.
I will take part in the item irates too, musically with that
Exclusive.
expression.
What you
you know
mean,
what I mean?
man?
Yes,
What you
sir.
mean?
Just, you know what I mean?
Once the eye ready,
There with
you,
I, man.
you
Yeah,
take your time,
man, it's like
brother. Once you
I'm a
ready,
cocoon, so to speak now.
yeah,
My cocoon, my isla cocoon.
yeah.
And I soon to, you know, re-emerge
Yeah,
with
man.
my wing them and
Yeah,
flap.
man.
But it's just more time, it's just creation, more time musically.
Makes sense, man.
You say that there, and I think I was there for plenty. Because
Yes, sir.
you cocoon and butterfly enough time where you
Yes,
can
sir.
see the transition and the growth.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So to see the next transformation,
Yeah, yes, I metamorphosize, man.
Chama.
The meta kick
man.
in,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Beyond, you know what I mean?
no
Meta
doubt,
is just beyond, you know what I mean? They say
Feeling
the
it.
gospel just mean according to with the reason that.
Right, right.
So you go get the gospel of the Black Nation,
True.
gospel of Buzzrock, according to me and my experience, you know. Hopefully, you know what I mean?
What you mean, man?
Whether it could help you, if it could help you, it wouldn't if it wouldn't, but
Look
I
forward
have
to the
things
works.
that help me, you know what I mean? I
Look
give
forward to
thanks
the works, man.
for all the platforms like the IDEM, you know what I mean? Cosmic Conversations is one, you know what I mean? I plan to start from Monday most likely, but I man go be hitting a live thing
Right.
once probably every other week.
Yeah,
every
man.
other
I mean,
strong.
send the link forward,
in,
like we
yeah,
come in,
definitely
man.
Tune in, yeah,
And-
man.
It's just
Keep
reasoning.
on the YouTube.
'Cause who you think well, is my way will contribute to me the most. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And it's who surround me. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to let it share that with someone too because it helped me in ways, you know.
Definitely.
Give thanks to the one like John Henry Clark and you know what I mean, Amos Wilson.
Yes, I.
You know what I mean? Ashwa Kwesi and even before it had internet and things,
Yeah,
who was the
the
man?
great
make
speakers
it
and knowledge
important
men.
to make, you know what I mean, footage and things
Yeah.
that
Past the
for
work,
I and
so,
I.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
To
we
be
could
scribes,
Be
you know.
inspired now.
Yeah. We give thanks to that, man. To the moment. You see it? Buzzrock, I will tell you that. Just keep striving,
Yes, I.
keep transforming, keep creating, brethren, and healing energies over the eye, same way.
Yeah,
you
man.
see it?
Yeah, man. I give
Yes,
thanks.
man.
Yeah, man. I give thanks. You know what I mean?
Wish you could have sit down for the next 2 hours. I ain't gonna lie,
yeah,
yeah.
I know,
Coming
man.
back.
But you had to come
Coming
back.
forward.
Coming
But take your
forward,
time,
for
man.
sure,
Yeah,
for
we'll
sure.
come forward again.
Yes, bum.
Yeah, you see? Come
Yes,
forward again. And let me all our reasoning.
Before we even shut out, that's what I tell the people. We always see the kind of sickness and thing, the virus and these things are wrong, you know. We even a herbalist like myself, doing my herbs, them thing coming strong.
Yeah.
So I learn all in all, just take care of yourself now, you know what I mean?
Yes, I.
Use all your herbs and thing and let we take care of each other and live good.
Yeah?
man.
I mean, man.
Yeah, my brother.
Speak to it.
Yeah.
Speak to it, man.
Love, man. I give thanks.
That's
So, brothers,
all right.
that's stuff all right.
Love and respect.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.